Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zillia, and today let's talk about Rwby Volume 7 Episode 4. Now right off the bat I just want to say that this episode, for me, was a great improvement on last week's episode. There were a couple of issues that I had with the episode in itself, but the tension, the groundwork for something bigger in the future, in episodes to come, and the slight bit of comedy that we get, actually made this episode a really fun one to watch. Now, I will just say this review might be a little bit long, so sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy. Now, this episode has a lot of tension and lightheartedness that allows the episode to flow kind of like a roller coaster. We start off with a bit of goofy, a bit of tension, a bit of goofy, a bit more tension, a lot more tension, and then goofy, and then we end on a serious note, which I really did like. I liked the up and down, and we saw quite a few characters shine in this episode, which again is very good. So we start off with a bit more info about the Aesops, and we see like them walking out, strutting like they've completed a mission. Team Rwby and the others are like really amazed by it. They're fangirling and fanboying, I suppose, and we actually find out that they don't actually seem to get along with each other outside of work. So while on a mission, they're perfectly in sync, we see that, but outside of a mission, they're not friends at all. Which gives us both a comedic scene and a bit more info from this segment. I love Nora's reaction as well from this bit, as you can see. She goes up to the kind of hammer user from the Aesops and just like, hey, do you want a new best friend? Maybe we can be called Thunderfies. And it's like, she's so crazy and over the top and is so Nora-like that, you know, it gives you a laugh. And I love Ren just like picking her up halfway through and just walking off with her. I thought that was great. Now real quick, I do want to say that this character, the character that Nora was essentially fangirling over, again, can't remember her name, but I loved her enthusiasm from this episode. She's almost like a crossover between Nora herself and Volume 1 Yang, maybe Volume 2 as well. In terms of like her personality, she is kind of like this loud, obnoxious, powerful character, and she just wants to fight strong enemies. Which is great, gives her a bit more personality, because honestly, last week we saw quite a lot from the Speedster, the Clover, I can remember his name, and the Farnes. But we didn't really see much in terms of personality from this character or the other one. Now, the other one with like the weird piercings on his face and everything, he seems to be a bit clueless when it comes to sarcasm or anything out of like logic relations. So maybe that's his personality. But that's just a quick thing I want to say about them. Next, the tension builds a bit more. And we have a great moment for Weiss's character. Ironwood's character, and somewhat for Blake as well, as Weiss's father appears. And we all knew this was coming. This had to come at some point from this volume. We had to see Weiss and her father have some tension, and this is where we got it at this moment in time in this volume. And it was absolutely great because, for starters, we have him come in and he's stuck up, he's arrogant, he's in your face. We all know these to be part of his character's traits. It just makes you want to hate him even more. And they're on show here in full effect. And he wants Ironwood's seat on the council. We know this from previous volumes. And he's come to gloat, because for what Ironwood has just done, he feels like that's going to kind of give him a bit more of a push and more votes in things to come. Which, again, if you go back to the opening, you can see a slight shift from Ironwood's face to Weiss's father's face. So maybe that's kind of like a good hint and like a little Easter egg from the opening that he add into here for the people changing their views. Maybe they don't like Ironwood, but they like this character now. Because what comes at the end of this episode leads me to believe that we're going to see a lot more of this character from this volume. Now, the tension grows even more, and once he sees Weiss, this character's words becomes like daggers, stabbing Weiss every chance they get. And I love the way that Weiss stands up to him, as it shows her will, her determination, and her development throughout the show itself. Because if she had just been timid and shy and weak and not said anything, that really would have damaged Weiss's character. Instead, she stands up to him and is like, look, I left all that behind, but I left it for my family, which are these guys. And honestly, I really did enjoy that from my character, but what I found more interesting, however, was the mention of Weiss's mother. Now, we don't really know if her mother was alive or not, but this kind of does confirm it. Well, somewhat. And we get told by Weiss's father that she's very upset that Weiss has left, and that she's locked herself away. And he ends off this bit of information with, you know how she gets when she's upset. Now, this obviously means that something bad must happen when she's upset. Mother Schnee obviously wouldn't do that otherwise. And this basically makes... well, we can basically prove this. We can prove the fact that something bad must happen to Mother Schnee when she's upset because of Weiss's reaction. This is Weiss's reaction. She looks sad. She looks guilty. She looks like she's done something bad and she's sorry. And she wouldn't be sorry in this type of situation if she's just having a confrontation with her father, because this makes her look a bit weak. But when it comes to her mother, then obviously she knows something that I want to know. Honestly, I want to know more about like her mother and what happens when she's upset. And you know what? I think we might, because we kind of need to get that bit of interaction or that clarification. But that's just something that I do want to see them pick up later on. But that's just kind of like a reaction that I wasn't expecting from Weiss's character, especially from this. But obviously, with the mother being involved, that's what we get. Now, I said Blake has a good moment. I mean, she steps up and cheers Weiss up a little bit by saying, look, I'm with you. And that's kind of cool because it links into Weiss saying that she wants to be there and mend what her family has done for the Farness, or to the Farness, in fact. So I thought that was kind of nice. It shows that they are good teammates and they've got a strong bond with each other. They are identically family, like Weiss states. So I think that was pretty good. Next, the full Huntsman license promotion. Now, this is something I personally thought would come at the end of the show. So once Salem is beaten and it finishes off the whole show of Rwby completely, having the team get their promotion, and then, you know, they go off into, like, I don't know, infinity and do whatever. That's honestly what I thought. However, this does make sense for it to happen now. And Ironwood needs to have more allies that he can trust. And the way that he can do that is by giving them full Huntsman and Huntresses licenses so that they can legally be allowed to fight. Because remember, they were captured in the first place because they were fighting Grimm when they weren't legal Huntsmen or Huntresses. So this obviously gives them that freedom to fight in the streets and protect the people whenever they feel like it's necessary. Now, in this scene, Crow actually does something that's pretty good. He cheers up Rwby as she's still struggling to decide what was the right thing to do. Because while Ironwood was kind of like saying he needs trusted allies, people that he can like rely on, everyone's like looking guilty and sheepish, and Rwby's still kind of struggling with deciding whether or not she should tell Ironwood everything and that she's been lying, or whether or not she should kind of keep it to herself for a bit longer. She kind of thinks like she's being a bit like Osbin. And Crow comes in and is like, no, you're not. You trust other people. You've told your whole team about this. You're nothing like Osbin. And as much as I like to see Crow do something, I love the fact that they address this issue with Rwby's character right now, as it's something that could most likely eat away at somebody. You know, guilt and, you know, having the idea of wanting to do something but not sure if it's the right thing to do. That can play on someone's mind and psyche level, and honestly, with Rwby, she doesn't need that at the moment. She does ask if people want to go sightseeing, which To me, I didn't read much into it until now, but looking back on it, I kind of think like maybe she just wants something to take her mind off everything. And sightseeing would do that. So she does need a bit more of a break. We do get teased with some more summer information, as it's revealed that Crow and his team, which obviously includes Summer, kind of knows about some of Osmond's secrets. Well, at least some of them. And that Summer's last mission wasn't a Osmond mission. So she didn't die doing something for Osmond. She died doing something for Summer. Summer had a secret and she wanted to kind of do that, and that obviously led to her last mission. Now this opens up a few possibilities about her death. Could it be linked to Salem? Because we keep getting told that Rwby and Summer are very similar. Basically, the decisions that Summer would do, Rwby is technically doing. And Rwby, to me, seems like a character that might try and reason with Salem. She might try and talk to her and say, look, I've got this ability that can do this, and you won't like it. Now, we can either talk about this, or we can basically just go our separate ways. Or we can do this the hard way. And that would make sense, but they wouldn't get Summer's body back if that was the case. If they ever did get it back, we don't know. Or could it be that Summer had a friend that was a maiden and that she was in trouble? Or could it have been that she tried to end the fight between Salem and Ozpin to save Rwby's future from being one of pain and suffering? We honestly don't know at this point. I'm hoping we do get to find out more information later on as we go through, but that's just something to kind of think about. Now, before the last talking point, I do want to talk about one character in particular. That's right, my favourite character, Penny. In this episode, I absolutely love Penny's enthusiasm and excitement. She was more excited than anybody else in the arena about Team Rwby and the others getting their license promotion. I just love seeing her sort of standing there even, buzzing up and down, like excited. And then Winter just like, calm down, you'll be fine. And I love the fact she just bursts into the scene beforehand going, congratulations. And, you know, her character is so lively, so jolly. It brings a nice breath of fresh air and lightens up the episode that a little bit more. Yes, we have Nora to do that, but Nora for me is a bit too overbearing. And Penny, you know, I'm just a big Penny fan. Right then, so finally, Arthur. Arthur Watts. So this man walks into the Schnee household and just offers Weiss's father an offer that he can't or most likely won't refuse, involving Ironwood. Now, this is linked back to the problem that Ironwood mentioned earlier on. Ironwood mentioned to Crow, Jean, Rwby, that basically somebody is killing off people who are basically a part of this big fraction that don't agree with Atlas and the way they do things, more specifically Ironwood, or anyone who speaks out against Ironwood himself. And this would ruin Ironwood's reputation in the eyes of the public, thus losing him votes on the council or the seat or, you know, those type of things. And the fact is that we saw the guy get killed from Tyrion. We know that Tyrion is working with Watts and Arthur, whatever you want to call him. So the fact that he's just coming in and talking to Weiss's father is like, look, I got this idea, and we know the idea. We know roughly what he wants to do, and I find that to be pretty cool. However, more interestingly, Watts is apparently meant to be dead. Weiss's father basically goes, hold on a minute, you were supposed to be dead. Which raises a few questions. How do you know him? Why do you know that? How was he supposed to be dead? And another interesting fact is that Weiss's father seems to know that his name is Arthur. when normally people refer to him as Dr. Watts or Watts. The usual, so I don't really know what's up with that. Hey. And all of these questions I hope to get the answer to as soon as possible. I mean, as much as I dislike these two characters, especially Weiss's father, because he's arrogant and yeah, nobody likes him. I feel like there's some fun, juicy things that happen between these two characters, and I want to know the details. I feel like next episode we might actually get that, or they might tease us for a bit longer in terms of giving us that juicy bit of information. So we have this proposition between, from Watts to Weiss's father, and it's kind of like, okay, so are you going to accept? And we kind of can almost confirm that he will accept the offer. Because, again, with the opening, there's that little scene where the camera shifts from Ironwood's face to that guy's face. Not what's his face, the other guy. So, all in all, this episode was a really good episode, and we had some good character moments. The only problem that I had was the animation at the beginning. I didn't like the kind of over, in-your-face, cartoony kind of effect that they gave Team Rwby and the others. Especially with Jean's character, I found that to be way too kind of in-your-face and not right. Let's see if I can find it. So if you see here, look, you can see that it's very kind of, it's very babyface-like. I know that's not a great way to kind of explain it, but if you compare it to the Aesops and the other characters in the way they're animated, I just found that to be kind of out of place and not the right technique to use. I get they're trying to show excitement and enthusiasm, but it just didn't work for me. All in all, didn't really affect the episode too much for me. I still enjoyed it very, very much. So, with the music being great as well, sound effects are all good. The way the show's flowing, I find to be quite good. It's not going too fast. Like, they've got the Amity project already in the air, which I thought was a little bit fast, but if he's working on it already, then it makes sense. But I like the route they're going. So, with all that said and done, let me know your thoughts on this episode down in the comment section below. Like the video if you liked the video, dislike if you disliked the video, subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me, and until next time, I hope you'll have an amazing day, and I'll be catching you next time. Bye-bye for now.